Welcome. I'm Tim Fortescue, an IFS trained practitioner specializing in spiritual growth and healing and working with folks on many levels of life, some that have experienced religious trauma, or some that are just seeking guidance on their spiritual journey or in life in general. And so I'm grateful for this community, grateful to be with you for another week and to walk all alongside however I can. Uh, if you're joining me live, I'd love to hear where you're joining from. I am in the Madison, Wisconsin area here in the Midwest. And as we're going throughout our time today, if you have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat, and I'll engage with them at the end of our time. If you're watching a recording, go ahead and type your questions in the chat too, and I'd be glad to continue engaging. I do this each week, same time, on Tuesdays, 9 a.m. Central, U.S. Chicago time. And I'll also engage questions that come in throughout the week next week. But grateful that you're here. If you have the capacity to head over to my website, first of all, if you want to find out more about me, you can do it there, faithfullygrowing.com. You can also donate. I have a nonprofit aspect of my coaching practice because one of my primary visions is to keep coaching, particularly IFS coaching, accessible to all. So you can click that donate button and make a tax-deductible donation. While you're over there, I encourage you to sign up for my 25 plus IFS guided meditations, as well as check out my offerings on the offerings tab, which includes some donation-based products where I just ask you to make a donation. So check those out if you think they may be helpful. And as always, you can send me an email to tim@faithfullygrowing.com if it's easier to connect that way. And before I jump into our content, I encourage you to click that subscribe button, like, share, whatever is most appropriate to help others find the channel and access this content. But so grateful that you're here. And today I'm going to focus and talk just a little bit about our inner critics. Those are just so big in IFS work, and they show up often, almost every time in my own work and in work with clients. For those of you who are new to IFS systems, it's a fascinating and incredibly effective approach to personal growth and healing. And at its core, IFS recognizes that we all have various parts within us, each with its own unique perspectives, feelings, and roles. Some parts are more protective, while others are more vulnerable and pushed down and exiled. And the goal is to create harmony among these parts and to lead from a place of self, our unblemished self, who we are at the core, that true essence characterized by qualities like compassion, curiosity, and calmness. And as I mentioned, one of the most challenging parts many of us face are those inner critics. These parts can be harsh, judgmental, and relentless. And they may tell us that we're not good enough, smart enough, or deserving of love and success. But here's the thing, inner critics are not inherently bad. They're no bad parts, right? In fact, they're trying to protect us, often from feelings of shame. Hi, Lori. Just saw you. Hope the audio gets better. I tell you, I live in the sticks, and keep me posted on how that goes there. But so glad that you're here. And so the inner critics are not inherently bad. In fact, they're trying to protect us from feelings of shame, failure, or rejection. So, how do we begin to work with these inner critics rather than against them? And the answer lies in self compassion. By approaching our inner critics with curiosity and kindness, we can start to understand their protective intentions and help them to relax. And let me lead you in a simple exercise to see if you can connect with some of those inner critics and put this in to practice, and keep me posted on that audio too. I don't know much of what I can do on my end, but I hope that what I'm saying is coming through enough so that you can catch some of it. And just so you know, I also do this same live at 9:30 Central US Chicago time on Insight Timer. If you're able to find me over there, the audio could be clearer. And so check that out if you'd like to. And I'll do my best, but keep me posted. It's good to get feedback there, whether I can do anything or not, so I can try. And so let's begin this exercise. First, I invite you to just, find a quiet place where you can sit comfortably. And take a few deep breaths and allow yourself to settle into the present moment. Now bring to mind a recent time when your critics were particularly loud. And see if one stands out in particular. And if there are a couple that are vying for attention, let them know. I'm going to give you one more chance to check in with another one in a bit. Maybe this critic was criticizing your work, your parenting, your appearance. And instead of pushing it away, gently acknowledge its presence. You might say something like, I see you and I know you're trying to help me in your own way. Notice how this part responds to your acknowledgement. Often just recognizing its presence can bring a sense of relief. Next, see if you can get curious about this inner critic. Ask it questions like, what are you trying to protect me from? Or what do you need from me? And listen with an open heart without judgment. You might be surprised by the answers you receive. as you continue this dialogue, offer this part some compassion. Thank it for its efforts to protect you, even if its methods are harsh. Let it know you appreciate its intention, but there might be a gentler way to achieve the same goal. And this process might take some time, and that's okay. The key is to approach it with patience and understanding. Just see if there's anything else. And in my practice, I've seen clients making incredible shifts when they start to treat their inner critics with compassion. Instead of feeling stuck in a cycle of self criticism, they begin to experience more self acceptance and inner peace. It's a beautiful transformation that opens up new possibilities for growth and healing. And let's delve just a little bit deeper into the practical side of cultivating self compassion, knowing that you're beloved and self love in your daily life. And it's not just about the big moments of introspection, it's also the small everyday practices that build a foundation of self love and understanding. So, here's some ways that you can practice that in your daily life. And I'm going to try to do this a little more too. First of all, mindful awareness. Start by becoming aware of your self critical thoughts. Notice when they arise and how they make you feel. And this awareness is the first step to change. And then self kindness. When you catch yourself being self critical, pause and try to reframe those thoughts in a kinder, more supportive way. Ask yourself, what would I say to a friend in this situation? Often we are much harsher on ourselves than we would be on anyone else. Then realize common humanity. Remind yourself that everyone struggles and experiences self-doubt. You're not alone in this. Understanding that imperfection is a part of the human experience can help you be more forgiving of yourself. Then daily practice. Integrate small acts of self-compassion into your routine. This could be through journaling, meditation, or simply taking a moment to acknowledge your effort and achievements. And celebrate your small wins and give yourself credit where it's due. And then the final one, self-compassionate dialogue. Engage in a regular self-compassionate dialogue or dialogues. When you notice those inner critics surfacing, take a moment to counter those thoughts with compassionate responses. You might say, you failed again, or your inner critic, when it says you failed again, respond with, I'm doing the best that I can, and it's okay to make mistakes. And remind it that, it's doing the best that it can too. These younger parts trying to parent us, and they're not capable, nor should they be. And then finally, before I wrap up, one powerful technique I want to share is to use self-compassion breaks. This involves taking a few minutes out of your day to check in with yourself. And during this time, acknowledge any difficulties you're facing. Remind yourself of your shared humanity and speak kindly to yourself. It's a mini rest that can make a significant difference in how you handle stress, how I handle stress and self-criticism. So with that, let's pause one more time and check in with your inner system. How's that critic doing that you spent some time with before? Just let it know that you see it. And if it's saying some critical things, just let it know that we're all doing the best that we can. And maybe there's another part or critic that's chiming in. Or maybe it's in response. Maybe it's a part that is afraid of this critic or tired of being beat up on. Let it know that you see it. Send it some compassion. See if there's more that it may want you to know. And what do you want to say to it or to your whole system? Just thank your system for its courage, for as much or as little as it's shared. Let it know that you can check in again. There's a team here. And there's a better way. And if not, no one's going to be out of a job. They can get right back to what they've always done, but they may be surprised. Just see if there's anything else. Then when it feels right, you can return your attention back to the present moment. And just come back here and I'll spend some time taking your questions if you have them. Don't forget to share the channel and subscribe and whatever you can do here. And just in the last week, I guess I crossed the threshold of 3,000 watch hours, which allows me to put these super stickers and little things at the bottom. You see there's a different icon there. First of all, if you want to donate, and you're welcome. I'm glad you're here regardless. But if you want to make a donation, you want that to be tax deductible. If you go to my website and you click donate to help keep IFS and activities like this accessible to all, you can do that. But if it's just as easy to click that little dollar sign and see what the heck it does, you can do a super sticker, super chat, and there's a donation that is tied to that. But so grateful that you're here. And Lori, if you're here, so good to see you here again. Hope you're doing well. And if you have questions, let me know. If you have questions throughout the week and you're watching a recording, go ahead and type them in too. And you can always send me an email to tim@faithfullygrowing.com. And I encourage you to check out my website and the offerings that I have coming up. I have donation-based offerings now that give you some IFS tutorials and some frequently asked questions. There's a monthly drop-in, and I'm adding content regularly. And all I ask is that you make a donation. I prefer for folks to do a recurring donation, even if it's just monthly, $5 a month over on my website. But really, just any donation. I want folks to have access to this material. And so with that, I'm going to close for now. If you're curious, if you want to check out that poll, have one if you're curious more in individual coaching or group coaching. And if you want to answer that for me and give me some feedback, I'd appreciate it. But with that, I'm going to chime off. If the audio has been, like the video is kind of bad here and you're on Insight Timer at 9:30. So in about 10 minutes, Central US Chicago time, I do this same live there and you can ask me questions too. But so grateful for you. Reach out if you need to tim@faithfullygrowing.com. Thanks, Lori. How was that audio? Did it help? I'm at the end of my signal for internet, and there's not much that I can do. Even though one thing I can do now is I can broadcast via mobile since I've crossed this threshold. So I may try that next week too. But yeah, please pass this on and have folks reach out if I can help with anything. Really want to be accessible and to walk alongside you and others as I can. Okay, well, I'm going to chime off for now. But again, reach out if you need to. And I look forward to reconnecting next week if you're able to join. Thanks for that feedback, Lori. I'll also listen to the recording too and see how it's coming through. But so grateful, and let's keep in touch as it makes sense, and see you next week if you're able to join. All right, take care.